keep it 100 because it's time for Hub's Huddle Podcast. Listen to the man that talks sports from football to basketball 24/7, 365. He is known as the average Joe that knows more than average about sports.
What's up, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Hub.
Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, September 29th, 2019. And, man, I hope you guys watched that fight last night. Showtime Shawn Porter versus Errol, the true Spence, welterweight unification belt. Man, that fight was one for the ages, y'all. That right there was, everything that we could have asked for, as fight fans. Action from round 1 to round 12. I predicted Spence to win, 10th round TKO. I just thought, them body shots would catch up to Porter, and and that's what was going to ultimately just spell the end, because a Porter style of that, coming in, making it rough and tough. Man, we were in for a special treat last night. Credit both of these fighters. Credit Shawn Porter. Porter has he has a heck of a chin. And like I said last night, y'all, it was very rough for me to pick this fight, because I like both fighters. And watching this fight made me like both fighters even more than what I did yesterday before the fight, because you've seen what Porter brought and what he brought to the table. It made Spence, basically he had to dig deep, into, and be that true warrior, inside the ring, and being there and banging with Porter. That fight last night was great. I can't wait to watch the replay of it when they put it up. I'm going to watch it again. Like I said, this fight right here, candidate should be, so far, don't know what the end of the year going to bring us, but right now, this fight was the fight of the year, hands down. You had action from round 1 to round 12. Porter, he never folded. And I mean, he took, he took some counter, left hands from Spence last night, and especially that one in round 11, Porter eyes rolled to the back of his head, as his glove touched the canvas. That was the only knockdown in the fight. Man, anybody else in that division, in that welterweight division, would have been put to sleep. You seen, Porter was glazed over on his feet as his hand hit the canvas. I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Anybody else in that division would have been put to sleep, hands down. I don't care who you bring into the table, but Spence, he had to display his inner warrior, something that he did against Kell Brook, back in 2017. This fight was great, man. The body shots from Spence, the unorthodox style of Porter, the basically putting Spence in awkward situations, throughout the fight, really made this fight what it was last night. It was Porter's style, to come in, and be, that rough, as, Spence would call him, an in-shape street fighter. I know that these two traded, jabs, leading up to the fight. But at the end of the night, man, it was nothing but love between both of these fighters. As you all know, that, Kenny Porter, Shawn's father, used to train Errol Spence when he was back in 2012, I do believe. Overall, this was a great fight, y'all. It was a great fight. Errol Spence is now the unified, welterweight champion division. He holds both the WBC and the IBF. We all, as a fan base, we was all thinking about, what's next for Spence. We all know that he wants that shot at Manny Pacquiao, which would be a big money fight. Also be a big money fight for Errol, and also go on Errol's legacy to be able to, to knock down Pacquiao. I honestly, I really don't see that happening unless it happens, towards the end of next year. As you can see, somehow, some way, Danny Garcia jumped in the ring at the end of the fight last night, and now he's like the next guy in line for Spence. And it's mighty funny, man, because as we all recall, man, Spence, the boogeyman. My phone buzzing. I'm getting alerts and updates on NFL injuries as I'm going along. But as we all know, man, a couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, man, for a while, when these dudes had the titles in that division, talking about your Garcias, your Thurmans, these dudes didn't want no part of Errol Spence. He was more like, the guy that was ducked. Shawn Porter, took it on. And in fact, we all thought Shawn Porter was the same way as these guys. Nah, Shawn Porter wanted to fight this man. And, you give him, the utmost, respect and credit, in that division for wanting that fight. And we all know that Bud Crawford is still lingering around, but it's, the difference between that, him and Spence ever fighting, I'm quite, both of these guys, they want that fight because that'll be the big fight in the division as well. But, you got Bob Arum in the way with Top Rank, and, you got, Spence over here, with his promotion stuff, that in different networks, the PBC, ESPN, Top Rank, it has to be a lot that be worked out, for that fight to happen. But anyway, back to what I was saying about, like Garcia, like, he jumps in the ring now because, Errol Spence is becoming that, that top dog, that cash cow in the welterweight division. So now these guys coming to Errol now because they want to fight. But beforehand, when, Garcia, Thurman, these guys had belts in this division, neither one of them wanted any part of Errol Spence, and the tables have turned, and I was talking last night. I was like, it reminds me of, back in like 01, that around that area, those years, that like the early part of the 2000s when Floyd was still under like the Bob Arum banner, and he was calling out guys like Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley, and them fights would never happen. People talk about Casa Lazoo and all these other guys who they claim that Floyd was ducking, but this guy was out there. He called all them guys out. At the one fight, I think it was like in 2001. And this is what people don't understand. He fought, Oscar De La Hoya when Oscar was old. Floyd wanted that man when he was in his prime, back when Floyd was up and coming. When Oscar was the cash cow in the up there in that welterweight division. He wanted him. He wanted Mosley. He called all them guys out. Nobody wanted to face Floyd. And it's kind of like how the same thing was with Errol. Now with Errol getting the WBC belt, see now he is the top dog in the division now. So with him getting that belt and him also having the IBF, he is the man now. So now they all want to come because, hey, we want that payday now. So I'm willing to get in there with you and mix it up with you. And hey, my thoughts, man, about Garcia fighting Spence. We thought, Garcia had a rough time with Shawn Porter. I think, Spence is going to really maul that man. I mean, them body shots that he was giving Porter last night. See, I mean, he landed on that man, and Porter was still ticking, man. That kid can take a punch. I'm not 100% sold on Danny Garcia taking that kind of punishment in the fight. I think he gets beat up, and I don't even want to mention Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman ain't been the same since he came back from off his layoff, and I still really wasn't, feeling one time be forward. And yeah, I picked him to beat, Manny Pacquiao. I was, thinking about youth, over experience. Cause I know, Manny is past his prime. He's still fighting. I just think, one of these young gladiators gonna get in there with Pacquiao and make it real rough for him. I thought it'd be Thurman, but Thurman, oh man, he underestimated Pacquiao to a point where Pacquiao look, he didn't look like the old Pacquiao, but he looked like enough Pacquiao to beat up Keith Thurman, pretty much. And people now talk, oh well, looking at that fight last night with Porter and Spence, Pacquiao could beat both of these guys. Well, first and foremost, Pacquiao and Porter used to spar, like many years ago. I think before Pacquiao fought Cotto and Shane Mosley, Shawn Porter was his sparring partner, and it was things that both of these guys did in sparring that really pissed each other off. I think right now, Manny is past his prime. I think Shawn Porter, with his style coming in, it'll be a lot for Manny Pacquiao. We know Pacquiao still got power. That right there is the last thing that leaves a fighter, is his power as he gets older. But I think the way Shawn Porter fights, man, I think Porter edges out Pacquiao because he's too busy. And on the other hand with Spence, I'm body shots. Man, I think he will, man. I think it wouldn't even be fair. I don't even want to see that fight. To be honest with you, I know Errol wants that fight. I really don't want to see that fight. It would remind me too much of Bernard Hopkins' last fight. Not saying Manny gonna get knocked out of the ring, but when you see a old aging fighter, you don't want to see them end up getting hurt. And that's my thing with Floyd, and people want Floyd to come back and fight these young guys. Like dude's up in his 40s, man. He's enjoying life. Let that man stay retired. If he want to go fight, a couple exhibition fights over in Japan, China, or wherever else, India, let that man be. If people are willing to give that man $6 million or whatever, $9 million to come fight for 3 rounds in an exhibition, let that man go make his money. Oh, he's just making a mockery of boxing. No, he's not. He's being a businessman. He has no business coming back to fight. There is no reason for him to fight. He's fine where he's at. Let that man stay retired. The same thing with Pacquiao. If Pacquiao never fights, Errol Spence, I'm not gonna be mad about it because I understand, where it's at. Let these legends go out, on their own merit, man, and let them go out and leave, this division to these young guys, man, and let these young guys battle each other. I would like to see, Spence versus Garcia, even though I know, Garcia is going to get mauled. I would like to see Spence versus Thurman. I would like to see, another Porter versus Thurman. I like to see another, Garcia versus Thurman. I like to see Bud Crawford get tossed in the mix. The fight. All them guys. It's enough talent in this welterweight division, for these guys to fight each other, and for this division to still remain as, like the best division in boxing, pretty much. But yeah, it was a big win for Errol Spence last night. He moves on to 26-0 with 2021 knockouts. Shawn Porter goes off to be 33-1 with 17 knockouts. I know we haven't seen the last of Shawn Porter. He's still in his prime, so I'm looking forward to seeing who he fights next. It might be a Keith Thurman fight. That would be very interesting. I think the last time they fought, I had Porter winning the fight, but you know how it goes. But I say a great fight. I'm quite sure they're going to show it this coming weekend, on, one of them PBC networks. So, hey, keep it tuned, man. Moving on, man, let's get into our NFL week 4 remaining picks. First off, we had our Thursday night matchup with Philadelphia, going to Lambeau and taking on the Packers. Man, I had the Packers winning, man. Look, every week so far this year on Thursday nights, I have been missing. I start my week off with an L. And the crazy part is, I had a feeling, Philadelphia was going to come out there and win. I was like, Philly mess around and win. But I was just like, man, look, Packers at home, Aaron Rodgers, if it was any week for them to get that offense rolling, it would be against this Philadelphia team coming in with those struggling, corners. And, the injuries and all that stuff banged up Philadelphia team, which did happen. Green Bay, that offense started rolling. Devontae Adams had a career night pretty much. He was roasting them dudes. Aaron Rodgers threw 411 yards, but, when it came down to it, man, when they got down to the goal line, everybody, oh, man, they didn't want to run the ball. They ran it. They had 2 possessions down there on the goal line and only ran the ball once. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, and then the last play, he throws an interception. And, it's crazy because I think I said on my podcast on Thursday that when they were talking about him playing so many games at home without an interception, I said, man, watch he throw an interception tonight. That's what happened. It's just like, man, these commentators always, basically, man, they're always, jinxing a player or a team when they put them crazy stats up. Like if they put up a kicker, oh, he's been 35 for 35 the past, however many attempts, and then he ends up missing that field goal right there on that very same spot, and he wide left, right, that's crazy, man. But getting into these remaining games, man, let's go over the injury report a little bit, talk about it. First up, man, you got the Lions, man. They got the Chiefs today. Matt Stafford expected to play. He had a little hip injury, but he is expected to be out there. As far as his receivers, that Danny Amendola got hurt last week with his chest injury. Him and Darius Slay with the hamstring, they both is going to be game time decisions. I think they both end up playing today. The LA Chargers, man, they running back, of course, running back Melvin Gordon is back, and he will be active against, the Dolphins, but I don't think they're going to put him in the game. I believe, the plan for him is to be only used in an emergency situation. So you're still going to expect to see a lot of Eckler today. New England Patriots, man, they have, wide receiver Julian Edelman. He did make the trip to Buffalo, and he is expected to play. They're going to need him today. Also, Buffalo Bills, they got Devin Singletary. He probably is going to be out there with the hamstring injury, so expect to see Frank Gore, the old man, out there. Also for New England, Rex Burkhead foot, is a game time decision as well for New England. Baltimore Ravens, man, you got defensive tackle Brandon Williams. He got a knee injury. He is expected to play. And tight end, Mark Andrews. I had my fantasy team last night. He didn't really give me much. He is questionable, but he is, he probably will play as well. Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, Jalen Ramsey did make the trip to Denver with his teammates, but his back injury, and his other issues going on with the team, he might not play. But he's a game time decision. If he goes out there and play, hey, it is what it is. But the man still wants to be traded. And basically is a whoever blinks first situation in Jacksonville. You got the Saints, Sheldon Rankins expected to make his season debut tonight, defensive tackle. They need him, he had the Achilles injury. So he might play tonight against the Cowboys. Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin, hip. He is, he's trying to play today as well. So his list is questionable. They have a game today against the Rams. They're gonna need Godwin too. And my fantasy team last week too, man. He ain't did much, but he got hurt, man. So it's all right. You don't want to see guys get hurt. Washington Redskins receiver Terry McLaurin hamstring, popped up. But he probably made a game time decision too. They got the Giants today. So it is what it is, man. The Cleveland Browns, they be out without their top 2 cornerbacks. So hey, if you got bets out there, you might want to take the Ravens. There might be a beatdown. And Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams, hamstring. Both of these guys expected to be out. So please take note of that when you're thinking about your fantasy football, and also for your bets, man. You might have the Browns defense in fantasy. You might want to think about putting money on the Browns today. They playing in Maryland against the Ravens. But I mean, it is what it is, man. I think the Ravens get a nice W today. But that leads me into my week 4 picks for the remaining games for Sunday and also Monday night, tomorrow night. We start off, man, with Atlanta Falcons at home welcoming in the Tennessee Titans. This right here, man, look, I know I've been hard on Matt Ryan, for a while. And, maybe believe, man, maybe it was the offensive coordinator, man. Maybe they just didn't let him loose, man, let him throw the ball. Now he's throwing, deep passes. They looking good. My only knock, man, is that he throwing in the double coverage a lot. And I understand you got Julio Jones, you got Calvin Ridley, you can do that. But like I said, I'm still having little flashbacks of that game against Philadelphia, and you double covers through that thing to the tight end. Come on, man, be a little bit smarter. The Titans, man, look, Marcus Mariota. I can see sometime this year they might switch over to Ryan Tannehill. I just don't think Mariota, is the guy. Tennessee still got a good defense. They got the running back game with Derrick Henry. I'm just not sold on Marcus Mariota, man. And then you coming in there to Atlanta where they like to air it out, and you got to pretty much keep up. The corners, for the Titans, Butler and Ryan are pretty good, but I don't think these guys are going to be holding Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley today. I like the Atlanta Falcons today score about 24-17 over the Titans. Next up, we move on to East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. Got the Washington Redskins coming into town. NFC East divisional matchup against the New York Football Giants, the G-Men. We got, man, look, Danny Dimes, man. He balled out last week, man. I picked the Buccaneers last week, and I didn't know what Danny was going to bring to the table, man. But I like what I saw out of the kid, man. I think Washington right now, man, banged up, as well as, the Giants. They're going to be without Saquon Barkley, which is very huge. He's going to be out for a minute with that ankle injury. But, hey, man, you got Danny Dimes going to roll with him. They're going to air it out, man. So I'm liking the Giants. Redskins coming in to getting beat down on Monday night against the Bears, and supposedly this might be Gruden's last game. If they don't win, he might get fired. According to different rumors, but who knows, man? But maybe he gets fired because I'm picking the Giants. Man, I got the Giants today. 24-27 over the Redskins. I just think, Giants going into a new direction under this quarterback, it's a good move for them. And, the way he came back and rallied that team to win last week was a huge motivational piece, coming, going forward. So I like the Giants today, y'all, man, 24-27 over the Redskins. Next up from Hard Rock Stadium, Miami. You got the LA Chargers coming into town to take on the Dolphins. We all know where the Dolphins is at, man. so I mean, man. Listen, man, I don't know, man. The Dolphins ain't got that good pass protection. We all know Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram last week was a little bit silent against the Texans. But I think with this poor, Dolphins offensive line, I think these dudes gonna get some heat on Josh Rosen. It might be a long day for the kid. Offensively, Chargers, receivers, led by Keenan Allen. These dudes, running the ball with Eckler. Of course, they said, Melvin Gordon's going to be there, but he's going to be used in an emergency situation. So I don't really expect to see him getting any time today. So, hey, listen, I'm looking for Keenan Allen to have a big day today. Chargers going to whip up on the Dolphins 27-10. Next up, we got the Oakland Raiders traveling to Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, to take on the Colts, man. Jacoby Brissett, boy. Man, listen. Jacoby, he got that run game out there with Marlon Mack. Man, yo, and listen, I was, when Jacoby came in the league to New England, I was like, yo, he might be the future in New England. Of course, Patriots fans, hey, well, no, man, he got that poise, man. You see, he balling, man. Everybody thought, without Andrew Luck, man, the Colts gonna be trash, man. But Jacoby got them boys balling, man. They got the Raiders coming in today. Like I said, I ain't too sold on Oakland, man. Derek Carr, I feel like he's a bum. Man, I said it. It's just like, they're not trending in the right direction, pretty much. Off-field stuff, with AB in the offseason. But, like the stuff now, like I think, they just brought in Gruden to be, for popularity base, so they moving into to Vegas, to put some butts in the seats, man. But as far as football goes, man, I just think the Colts are overall a better team. Like I said, we're gonna see that running game get established today. I like the Colts. It's gonna be a close one though. The Raiders a little bit are scrappy, but Colts do make some simple mistakes. I like the Colts though, 28-24 over the Raiders. Next up, we got the Houston Texans. They'll be at home taking on the Carolina Panthers. Kyle Allen had himself a game last night filling in for Cam Newton. So, of course, after that game, everybody thought about, hey, man, is it over for Cam in Carolina? Maybe it is, maybe it's not, man. It's too early to speculate, man. He only had one game. He played Arizona. Today's a bigger test, man. He playing the Texans, man. Pass rush, man. Listen, you got Reader, Watt, and and Merciless. So I mean, this Texans defense is pretty solid, and I think this is gonna be a big test for Kyle Allen. And I love me some Deshaun Watson over there for Houston. I think he gonna ball out today against this Carolina defense. I like this will be a close one. I like the Texans 27-21 for the Panthers. Next up, we got a nice game. It's gonna be interesting. Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Detroit, take on the Lions. I know everybody saying they're gonna wipe the floor with the Lions. I don't know, man. I think with the with Slay, and Coleman, Coleman's playing like one of the best, slot corners in the league. Then you got Darius Slay, for that Lions defense. And you still got the defensive front with Trey Flowers and Shawn Robinson. I think try to put some pressure on Patrick Mahomes out there. You got some good corners over there in Detroit. They're building to be a good team, up and coming in the league. They ain't got no losses yet. They still undefeated. I know they had a tie in week 1, then they won, two games. They beat Philadelphia last week in Philly. But the Chiefs still the Chiefs, man. And, you still got Patrick Mahomes playing lights out as usual. And everybody's talking about, well, let's see what Patrick Mahomes is going to do in the Dome. The last time he played in the Dome was such and such, and he threw such and such. It's going to be interesting. I still like the Chiefs in this one, but I think it's going to be closer than what people think. I'm thinking more in terms of like 35-27. I think, the Lions need to really establish the run game because it's still the same Chiefs defense that can't really stop the run. But hey, so Matt Stafford got the little hip injury. I think he is going to play today, but it's going to be a close one, man. I like the Chiefs though, 35-27. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens at home welcoming in the Cleveland Browns, man. First and foremost, man, Baker Mayfield just needs to be quiet. I'm tired of this dude, man. He's talking too much every week. In the offseason, it was him talking about the Giants, rookie quarterback Danny Dimes over there. And now he's, back and forth with AB. For what reason? I don't know. It's like, man, look, just ignore the noise. Every week has been something with Baker. Whether he's going at Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan called him overrated. I think he's overrated too. Like, how you have so much talent over there and your offense ain't explosive? Bruh, you got Chubb at the running back. You got Odell and you got Landry. Like, really, bruh? And you ain't putting up no big, like, numbers. Like, come on, man. It's you. I mean, dudes, man. Lamar Jackson, clearly a better quarterback in this game. I think, this Cleveland Browns defense is going to be the reason why Cleveland's going to be, in this game, to a point. I do like the Ravens today. I like them, 24-13 over the Browns. Baker Mayfield can't get out of his own way. Maybe if he just start being quiet and stop, talking so much in the media about different people, you know what I mean? Like, man, focus on your game, man. Focus on getting your team better. That's what you need to do. But for right now, coming into Baltimore, y'all not beating the Ravens today, man. Like I said, I'm taking the Ravens 24-13 over the Browns. Next up, battle of 3-0s in the AFC East Division. You got the New England Patriots traveling to Buffalo with all the extra toys that get thrown on the field. You know what I mean? To take on the Buffalo Bills, live from New Era Field in Orchard Park, New York. Man, Bills Mafia, man. You know what? They are some between them and Eagles fans, man. I like Bills fans. They're funny. Like, just watching these dudes throwing each other through like a table and stuff like that. And a couple weeks ago they was drinking like trash juice. These dudes, man, yeah, they're the funny group, man. But as far as this game go, like I said, I'm a Patriots fan, but also, I keep it 100% real. And the talking to different people that are Patriots fans, thinking it's gonna be a beat down and up there in New York today. I really don't think so. Like I said, man, this New England team is banged up. Offensive line is banged up. They got to protect 12, pretty much. He took off a day during the week for rest. He getting up there in age, an old guy. You got Julian Edelman, who is, questionable today. Probably will play, but we don't know how, 100% he is. As far as the run game, you got Burkhead with a foot injury. As far as the Bills go, David Singletary is going to be out today, so you'll get Frank Gore running the rock. And as far as Bills go, I like the Bills defense is pretty good, so this will be the matchup that needs to happen. I think it's gonna be the battle of the defenses today. I don't see New England putting up the big points like they've been doing for the past couple weeks. I think this is going to be the first defense going to give them, a big test today. I really don't see the game getting ugly. We all know Tom Brady's record in Buffalo, and like I hate when people just like go off of that and just assume that they're just gonna win because Brady's win record in Buffalo. Brady's a year older, yeah, he's still my guy, but I understand what it is. I like the Patriots today, 17-9, and I say that because I think the Patriots defense is going to propel them today in this win. I think the Patriots defense is a lot better than what the Bills offense is. And I think the Patriots offense, will get in the end zone, but I don't think, it's going to be one of those like, pick apart, just domination type of games. So I think it's a close game today, man. I'm picking the Patriots though, 17-9. Next up, you got the LA Rams at home taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, this one right here, man, hey, Clay Matthews, Eric Weddle, out there, Dante Fowler, Keeb Talib, Marcus Peters, these guys that you mentioned, like, they're all up there though, but Aaron Donald's still a game wrecker. He's still got to go find his game. I'm looking for him to have a breakout game today. It might be today against the Buccaneers. I think, you get Winston, in situations, you pressure him, he's going to make a mistake. I still like the Rams offense, even though I think, Todd Gurley, I'm not sure where we at. Still waiting on a breakout game from him. Jared Goff been playing a lot better, more careful, with decision making, Shawn McVay is putting these guys in good situations, to get things done on the field. Like I said, Buccaneers, big letdown last week, losing to the Giants, letting them boys come back like that. Today I just think it gets a little rough. I think, the Rams defense show up. Offense gets a little rolling. I'm liking the Rams in this one, 27-19 over the Buccaneers. Next up, from Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium, Arizona Cardinals at home. NFC West division matchup. taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The letdown last week from Seattle. Man. Oh, man. I mean, Russell Wilson's having himself a season so far. And, I like Russ, man, but, they killed my parlay last week, y'all. Yeah, it's a little hard, man. Get a little harsh, man. I think they get back on track today. Last week was a hiccup, man. They had no business losing at home to the Saints. I thought, I came in, I was like, man, that's probably gonna be like the lock for me this week. Saints on the road. It's gonna be tough without Drew Brees coming up there, but they got it done. But like I said, also last week is that Teddy Bridgewater going up against that weak Seattle secondary. It's gonna explain a lot, and I think today is gonna be some points up on the board as well between both of these teams here. Because Kyler Murray, going up against this weak, Seattle secondary, and you got Russell Wilson on the other side going up against the Cardinals defense, which I think they got a better secondary than what Seattle does, but still, it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a lot of points put up. I'm thinking more like a 31-28 game. I'm going with the Seahawks, but like I said, Kyler Murray's going to put up some points because this Seattle secondary is trash. They far off from being, the Legion of Boom. When them guys left, the secondary just fell apart. The defense ain't the same as what it used to be. You still got Russell Wilson who's playing, at a high level this year, and he's putting up the numbers. This year he's having, he's having a good season. It's just defense ain't, on the same level. Plus he got, some trash pass protection, so he's forced to do a lot of things that hey, if he gets a little bit more time, maybe he pick a little bit of defense apart, man. But I like the Seahawks today, man. I like them, more like a what I said, like a 31-24. I'm gonna go 31-24. Put it like that. There you go. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. Oh man, this is gonna be low scoring too, y'all. Minnesota got a good defense. Offensively, they're running about majority of their plays coming from under center, which is basically. Hey, it's like I think they got the highest rating in the league. I think I read about it the other day. Was like sharpfootball.com or something like that. I believe that was the website. I look at that a lot. But Minnesota, hey, they're running, old style offense right now, the under center a lot, and this is helping out Dalvin Cook, but still coming to play the Chicago Bears defense. It's just like I like the Bears defense, Khalil Mack and them boys, Hicks, these dudes, man, I like them so much, but I just think that, Chicago's offense doesn't match up too well against the Vikings defense in this one. I think the Vikings come away a 3-point victory, giving it 13-10 over the Bears. I picked Chicago to win the division early on, and I still think they do win the division, but they're going to be down 0-2 in the whole winning division. They're going to end up getting it together. They just got to get that offense on track. Once they get that offense on track, Mitchell Trubisky, we've seen some flashes. They played Washington last week. Josh Norman probably checked out already, especially after that Cowboys game. But it's a difficult test today against this Vikings defense coming into town. The Vikings offense is going to get tested by the Chicago defense. I think it's going to be like a chess match, man. As I said, I like it, like a 13-10 type of game. I'm going to take the Vikings. I like them as the road, dog coming in. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos at home taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm riding on the Gardner Minshew train, y'all. I'm riding on it. I just think Flacco, he ain't the same no more. It's only time that before he gets pulled. This dude, man, I'm not really buying. I'm not really buying it. Hey, I think he's like ranked 16 on the PFFs. For the quarterbacks, which in other words, I wasn't in agreement with Brady being number one. Y'all know Brady's my guy. I think it should have been Mahomes, or at least have Mahomes too. Like, they got Mahomes at 6, so I don't really buy into that list anyway. But anyway, back to this game. I think playing in Mile High is always tough. I like the Jaguars. Like I said, I'm riding the the Gardner Minshew name, train. I'm getting this. I'm about to start calling man Uncle Rico. Man, I'm riding that train, man. I think no Jalen Ramsey today, possibly. But I just think the Jags, man, they starting to put something together, and I think they're going up against this Denver, team that's not the same. The defense ain't the same, ain't really getting that much pressure on the quarterbacks and stuff like that. Offensively, like I said, I'm not too sold on Flacco. I never was really sold on Flacco, to be honest with you, even when he was with the Ravens. But, I like the Jags today, man. Give me the Jags 23-20 over Denver up there in Mile High. Next up, we got our Sunday night football matchup, which would have been, it still might be a great matchup because, it's the Saints at home against the Cowboys, revenge factor from last year, when the Cowboys came in and beat the undefeated Saints. Thursday night football last year. I think it's two different teams, man. One, you don't have Drew Brees out there. This right here, it's a tough one. I'm still gonna roll with the Cowboys. Somehow Zeke got to get running, man. He needs 25 to 30, man. And they need to get him there to get that magic number. I think the Cowboys get the job done. 30-24. I like the Saints though. I like what they're doing with Teddy Bridgewater. I just would feel more confident if they did have Drew Brees in the center. If they had Drew Brees, it'd probably be a different score for me. But I like the Cowboys, man. 30-24. That leads us up to our snooze of the week. To Monday Night Football. Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers up in Heinz Field. Battle of the 0-3s, man. So somebody's going to get a win, and somebody's going to be 0-4. Just to pick this, man. You know what? San Francisco was, they had like 4 turnovers early last Sunday against the Steelers, and they couldn't capitalize on it. Mason Rudolph, man, I don't know what's wrong with Pittsburgh. I'll be honest with y'all. I think the defense, maybe it's the offense. The defense was pretty okay. They got enough talent on defense. They just, I don't know what's going on with Pittsburgh. And Cincinnati, nah. Just like I said, it's gonna be like this snooze. It might end up being a good game because this is the division game. But both of these guys are 0-3, so somebody got to get a win. I don't think it's going to end in a tie. I hope not, but just pull a name out of the hat, man. What you got? I'm gonna just take the Steelers. All right, they're at home at least. I don't, dropping 0-4 at home, it wouldn't be good, man. I'm gonna take the Steelers, man. They get over in the win column. 17-13 over the Bengals. And here's my picks, man. I got Falcons, Giants, Chargers, Colts, Texans, Chiefs, Ravens, Pats, Rams, Seahawks, Vikings, Jaguars, Cowboys, Steelers. And that's it, folks. These are my Week 4 picks for the National Football League. Hope you all enjoyed today's games. And I'll be back on Thursday to talk about Thursday Night Football matchup and also give my little breakdown of the week that we have today. So you guys on Instagram, follow me, check me out, Hubs Huddle. Same thing with Facebook is Hubs Huddle. Twitter, Follow me on that. Handle is Hubs Huddle as well. This podcast that you're listening to is on many different platforms, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean. There's many other, platforms this podcast is on. Just Google it. I'll pop up Hubs Huddle. Just type it in your little Google search engine. It'll pop up everywhere you need to be. Thank you all for continuing to listen, continue to support. Thank you all for continuing to share this and, put other folks on. I am looking at my stats, and we're greatly improving. I appreciate all of you guys for listening and keeping it 100 with me, and also for my engagement with some of you guys on Instagram and stuff like that. Shout outs to the new connections that I'm making based off of these podcasts. This is awesome. Should have, I'm still working on the whole video thing to be live doing the podcast, so you guys can see me. Trying to get something set up where I can take calls and everything like that. So until next time, man, keep it moving, man. Keep it running, man. This podcast is for the people. I do this for y'all. So enjoy the day's games, and I'll get back with y'all. Peace.